This is a religious war. Who wins it at the end of the day? Do the radical Islamic terrorists who want to kill all the Jews because God told them to? Who want to kill me because I'm an infidel? Who want to purify Islam, to reject moderation and make everybody a jihadist? This is a big deal. I'll deal with Section 230. So what we're facing right now is a moment of decision that will set the course of the future of the Mideast for 1,000 years.
There's a Light That Never Goes Out. Wonderful duet by Dean Ryan and Cory Daniel. Catch them on tour this summer with Nickelback. And back to the show. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Francis. Thank you. Oh, good evening, everybody. Hello, how are you doing? I am Dean Ryan. And this is, believe it or not, Real Deal Media Live. It's our college night. It's Thursday. We've made it. And I'm going lower and lower and lower, as you can see, because that's the way the world is going, especially the United States. We lead the way in the phrase and the motto of just how low can you go? And that's what tonight is about. Boots for hire. You don't need to put boots on the ground when you got boots for hire. We're going to be talking just about that here tonight, as I have our special guest here. Well, I should say one out of two. One of them seems to be under a massive rainstorm in Texas. Yes, he's patrolling the borders, and he might be joining us a little later in time here. And that's Mr. Neil, and he's got a lot to answer for when he does get here. That doctor's note better be real. Anyways, I also have, we're going to bring Cory Daniel up here in a moment. But in the second half, I should say, in the second half tonight, Mr. Cory is going to break down some of the events that were foreshadowed for us during a cold opening monologue on SNL with a Jim Carrey, I believe. And he's going to decode it all and tell us our future, our past, our present, and just exactly where you were last night. In a way, that's how good he is. Precision is the key. We're going to be talking about that with him and a whole lot of other things here tonight. There are some pressing things in the news, as you can imagine, before we get going. Where are my manners, really? We are broadcasting live on Dean Ryan TV over there on YouTube. Hello, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me. Also, we are broadcasting live on Rumble, the Real Deal Media Rumble channel that never moves. It doesn't decrease, deflate. It just stagnates. Hello to all of you out there. And so there's a lot to get on about here. But here are some things that are pressing the Real Deal Media breaking news items as we speak. This just came out. Christi Noem. Yes, the magnificent, the very precious, did I say magnificent? No, the DHS Secretary, Christi Noem, has just been fired by Donald Trump. However, some say fired, others say commuted, as she's going to be the ambassador to Latin America to tell the Latin Americans just how great it is that we're taking over. But really, Israel, wink, wink. So, yes, she's got a new role. This just came down the wire. I was quite floored when I found this out. I thought she was I thought she was too big to fail in a way. But that's just me. But let me tell you about this now. As Trump has now ousted Christi Noem, the DC Beltways have now turned inside out. Yes, that's right. People are just floored. I mean, we've never even heard what happened to her purse that got stolen. Who knows what was in that goodie bag? Well, now, after a deposition of her own over the past couple of days, which included very uncomfortable questions about Cory Lewandowski, the other Cory, who is just the biggest nerd and pompous that you can't imagine would ever get such a girl like Christi Noem. That's the horror and the shock of it all. But let me tell you a bit more. As now Donald Trump told the White House advisors that he was tired of the infighting and drama over there at the Department of Homeland Insecurities, and that he was planning to soon oust its leader. Well, he doesn't like drama, only if it's if it's being conducted by certain people. Because in this case now, Christi Noem's congressional testimony Tuesday, you missed it. It was a real charmer. It included many uncomfortable questions, some of which we haven't seen since the Clintons' deposition, or whatever that was. Now, in this case, Trump seemed to be livid because she said under oath that Dowski, more importantly, Trump had signed off on a spending $220 million bill in ads, a check in ads to promote herself and the Department of Homeland Security. We've all seen those commercials. I could have done a much better one for a fraction of the cost, but that's just me. So that's what we have. Now, no word on what Lewandowski says about it all. He claims he tried to calm down the president. So, I mean, Trump must be very angry. And I'll tell you, everybody's having a bad week. Everybody's having a real rough week, if you know what I'm saying. But here's another one real quick here before we bring in the other Cory. Well, in regards to Iran, which we're going to be covering the entire playing field of that here tonight. And in regards of Iran is now, quote, confident it could counter a U.S. ground invasion, their foreign minister says. Well, I'm pretty confident that Iran listened to the top chief of staff's general. Yeah, that's right. The general, Mike Kane. Or is it Dan Kane? Well, it's one of the Kanes. Well, I'm pretty confident they heard exactly what he said, which was the U.S. won't last long. We don't have enough munitions. We gave them to Zelensky, then we gave them to Israel. So when I hear Iran is quite confident, I believe that they believe that because the proof is in the pudding, and the proof is also in the lack of munitions in this case. But yes, they're now having an extra skip to their step. Lately, the Iranian Guard is now, in this case, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Thursday that his country is ready for a ground invasion by American troops, as the war launched by the United States and Israel has quickly spread across the region. Yeah, so the one and done campaigners, please take note of this. And, before you launch things at me. Well, in this case, yeah, it's quickly spread across the region. Yes, Dubai got hit, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Spain. This is spreading faster than COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? That's how fast it's going. Now, Aragachi spoke in a quite brazen manner, they're saying, as he spoke to the NBC Nightly News anchor, Tom Lamas, as he was giving a spitting interview, Mr. Lamas. In the video interview from Tehran, he said that Tehran, as U.S. and Israel airstrikes continue to hit the country, their spokesperson shows no fear for getting his message across, as he's now saying that they will now prepare for the onslaught of the boots on the ground, which we were told was never going to happen. So that's what we're to expect from it all. Okay, we have a bit more to go, but before I do, I'm going to bring to the fold here. Let's bring this man has been on top of the Savannah Guthrie case as of late. He broke the exclusive intel and news right here on Real Deal Media roughly 2 weeks ago. He's a man who stares at goats and a man who also knows how to move with precision, as we were discussing earlier. But he's a goat herder, is what I'm saying. Anyways, welcome to the show, Mr. Cory Daniel, the Phoenix Enigma. Thank you, Cory, for being here tonight.
Hey, you're welcome, sir. How are we doing tonight?
Yeah, so am I fair to say it's been a rough week for everybody, whether it's been Iran, whether it's been people in Israel, the U.S., the Trump administration, now Christi Noem. Let me just, right off the bat, before we get to everything Iran, is there any kind of saving grace of a PR move that can be obtained for anything with the DHS and ICE at this point? I think it's almost pointless to pour any more money into $220 million worth of ads to prop up Department of Homeland Security. Don't you think?
I'm not exactly sure what's going on over there. I mean, we lived through 9/11, right? We lived through COVID, and how many government psyops and lies between those two? Hundreds, probably. Psyops weren't even aware of. We're seeing I don't want to go macro on you this early, but everything we're dealing with right now is a restructuring of the global corporations. Countries are corporations. They're corporations with resources, output, gross domestic product, projections, labor, etc. And Trump is reshuffling all that right now. So you see he's going after Cuba, he went after Venezuela, he's taking over Western hegemony, he's kicking the East out of here, right? Whatever's going on at Homeland Security is in preparation for what's to come. That's my gut instinct take on it. He needs somebody in there.
As of right now, they have yet to be funded. The DHS has not been funded. The TSA at the airports, they're not being funded. So if you want to go to the airport right now, you want to go and travel, not get molested, but just get stranded, well, be our guest, have right at it. But Cory, I think you're right. A reshuffling indeed is underway because speaking of reshuffling, we have yet to find a justification, a very ironclad reason that this war is even being had. It's even been conducted or decided on. We've heard that it was about the nuclear ballistic capabilities and the missiles. Then it was about regime change. Then it was about, because they had tried to assassinate Trump, don't you know? The messaging is so off, Cory. I mean, if you asked me why we're in Iran, I couldn't tell you, except for Israel might know.
Yeah, so we had mission creep on day one. Literally, the end of day one of the first day of the attack, we had mission creep. People were coming out saying, "Oh, it's no longer about the missiles. It's now about, Israel, and it's now about terrorism, and it's now about, pick a card, whatever you want." Dina, I think we live in a world where you can go out to Starbucks or the grocery store or the bank or wherever you hang out and just talk to people in lines when you're standing around, and you will get a different worldview. Like it used to be you'd go out and you go to work and you talk to someone about a war and they'd be like, oh yeah, man, the Germans are doing this. And we all knew what was happening. And we're launching our troops out because, they're doing this. There is so much information. There's so much saturation, so much propaganda on all sides coming at us 24/7. You can literally live in whatever world you want, or you can ignore it all and just watch, I Dream of Jeannie all day, if that's your thing. And no one's going to bother you. It doesn't matter what you do. You can find your own little niche, and someone will be funding that, and somebody will be keeping you in there to keep you out of the way. So, we heard Trump come out the other day and say, God, what did he say? He said, we're winning in Iran, and then something else. And he said like 10 different things. He contradicted himself like at least 5 to 8 times. I forget what the exact thing was. Sorry for not being on point here, but I'm like, wow, why is he doing that? That it takes away from his credibility. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, no, he's giving every single group what they want to hear, so that they can just listen to it. It gets directed to that group, and they get locked into their belief system. They don't care what you believe, as long as you're not interfering in what they're doing. They don't care what religion you believe in or what God you pray to, as long as you're controlled. Because they just control the head of the religion, right? Everyone knows the CIA created the Calvary Church, the First Assembly of God. All the big mega evangelical churches in America are U.S. intelligence creations. I'm sorry if you're a Christian out there, understand that. It's not my opinion. There's documentaries on this. It's been declassified. It's out there. They needed to control the right? So take that and expand on that with every other belief system out there. And you'll realize that people are just given any and everything they want to believe, because it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, are they being permitted to do what they want to do on the global, on the global scene and take over? And that's what they're doing. They're just taking over the Middle East. They're taking over the resources.
Well, I'm sorry, Cory. I was watching I Dream of Jeannie in my off time while you were.
Yeah.
I'm part of that crew,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, nothing wrong with Barbara Eden, 92 years old. She still looks stunning.
She's still alive?
Say that for the record. Wow, Cory. She's a viewer of the show. I like to think. Anyways, where Mr. O'Neill will be here shortly. Okay, no, I hear what you're saying. Let me add to this. Okay, you want to talk about failing, and plunging in popularity and polls. If boots get on the ground again in the Middle East, Cory, I'm telling you, you're going to see so much momentum behind the Democrats. I don't think we've seen since Richard Nixon was in office. And not only that, let me just add that we have yet to even heal from the Iraq War when we sent our sons and daughters there, my generation, to fight that one. And you're going to have nobody wants to do this, to convince the American people and try to sell this war. Not even Fox News can do it. Not even the alternative pundits that can do it. They can't even come up with a reason of, well, we had to go in this the Iranian desert because they had the election rigging material that we had to go find. Because we always hear these things. Just no, that's not the reason. Let me tell you why. I'm an insider. No, but not even the insiders can even come up with something plausible, Cory. And I guess where I'm getting at, it's a sad time in this country right now. And I can tell you it's across the board. And I'm not one to run with the crowd. I'm not part of the groupthink, but I can honestly tell you what a disappointment this is for just me as a person.
Yeah.
To have to see this, and then in the 165 girls in Iran who died because of this, stupid decisions, and it hurts. It hurts.
All right, so you hit on that. Let's talk about for just about a minute here. Who fired that missile that killed those girls? Who fired that missile?
It was probably Israel. But they're not going to take credit for it. They're
So
going to say it's
we've heard it's
mistake
Israel,
and Hamas.
right?
Yeah.
And then I went on.
Was it Israel? Okay.
No, it wasn't. From what I understand, it was the USS Pennsylvania. Like there you go. There's rocketry data that shows that it was that. And then you got people saying, "Oh, it was Iran." They say everything, and people can pick what they want. The truth is irrelevant. Look back to World War II. How many people in this audience know that Hitler was Time Magazine Man of the Year before the war? Does everyone know that? Does everyone know that Prescott Bush's granddaddy, was funding the financial products that brought Hitler and the Nazi regime to power? That was an American. How many people in the audience know that eugenics, the science of eugenics, is an American science that was being run from the United States from the late 1800s? And just prior to the World War II, we were having symposiums over in Spain and France and England. Okay. These are true facts. You can look them up. This is what was going on at that time. America was pushing fascism. We are a fascist nation. We are forged exactly after Rome, and Rome was a fascist nation. Well,
imperialistic, right?
Imperialistic. There wasn't nations at the time. So, look into today. What's going on today? Do we really know what's happening now? Do we really know what's happening?
Well,
we don't.
We don't. We don't.
Laid.
But sometimes, don't they say that the bigger the lie, the greater the sell? Sometimes the truth is right in front of you, but it's so damn big that you refuse to believe it's the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So we after the war, we pulled over. We salvaged. First of all, the Nazis didn't lose World War II. Germany did. The Nazis.
Germany lost World War II. Yeah.
Not the Nazis.
Yeah, that's right.
The Nazis came over. They went into the World Bank. They went into the United Nations. They went into NASA. They went into the U.S. government. They went into the missile programs over out of Florida and California.
Paperclip. Yeah. Paperclip, Plum Island.
All of it.
Yeah, Plum Island. NASA. They started NASA. All kinds of different things. The Lyme disease. They brought us Lyme disease, which there's got to be. I know there's a cure out there somewhere, but yes. Yeah,
so,
George Carlin said it best. Germany lost World War II, but fascism won, I believe is his quote, George Carlin.
I mean, I'll tell you what I think, and I think I touched on it last time we were here. I believe what's going on is that we are trying to salvage what's left of the petrodollar, and we are converting it to a digital currency. And all of this is to outfight the BRICS nations. This is for the survival of who will control the global currency for the next 100 years or so. That's what all this is about right now. All of it, every bit of it. And the trade.
Interesting. Yep. XRP, crypto.
Yeah, and I think that the cryptocurrencies were priming us. They were desensitizing us. They were training us how to use it. Look we've gone from cash to debit cards. Who out there carries cash anymore? I do. People don't carry cash anymore, right? And now it's not normalized. And as soon the cards will go away, right? Because now you can go on your phone, right? You can just click your phone, right? Soon it'll be your biometrics, right? We're being herded softly and gently into a new world. There's new technologies that are coming out. Didn't I say on the last time I was on your show here, me and Jim were talking, and I said, what about the advanced weapons that Trump's talking about? What about all the things he's saying, these super advanced weaponry that we have that no one else in the world knows about, that he can't tell us? And what just broke today? Lasers. We're using lasers. The first time lasers have been deployed on a battlefield.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. So
they just wanted to try out the new lasers. That's another thing somebody told me. Someone said to me, this could very well be a big trial run for Palantir, who has been very crucial in the Gaza ethnic cleansing with their heat-seeking missiles and AI programmed kind of weaponry. This could be their big show, a big beta test. That's very possible. But nonetheless, Cory, it's a very tough week for everybody. And even the Clintons. You know, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the Clintons. They've served their country well, and their deity of Satan well as well. And in fact, just to before I get Dan Crenshaw lost. Yes, the one-eyed Dan. He loses his primary election.
That's Patch McCain, man.
Yes, Mr. Dan Crenshaw, the man who said he wants to scalp Tucker Carlson. He just.
Do you hear how much money
he said,
for freaking Zionists? How much money Israel gave him over the last couple of years?
I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. I know. What is it?
It was. I think it was
okay,
well
so
over 100,000. So let me just to make sure I'm going to give you false information here. Go ahead. I'll find it for you.
Well, find the number. Find the number because I'm going to play Hillary's deposition and mix with Bill's, and pay attention to the contrast between the two because these lovers, you know, these lovebirds, they've made it through thick and thin. They can make it through this. If you know, it's a tough week.
Here it is. These photos with a young woman being massaged. What went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband.
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
I'll give you an example. If I saw a picture with my wife, it's just really hard to be relevant. If my wife saw pictures with me as a grown man hanging out with obviously or close to underage women, regardless if it was before we were married or not, it would be a question. And so what I'm asking you is, did any questions regarding those photographs come to your mind?
I am going to, just as clearly as I can say I don't see the relevance of your question, and I am not going to talk about conversations that I had with my family, especially my husband.
She stated that President Clinton was her friend, not Epstein's friend. Is that accurate?
I'd say that it was accurate to say that I felt closer to her than to him.
And for the record, why was that?
Because I had seen her more and because she was very good friends with Evelyn Rothschild and his wife Lynn, whom I knew and was in regular touch with.
So as you can see there, Cory, a very tough week. And to add, and I think we have someone at the door, but to add, Cory, this came out too in the Epstein files. Well, one of the redacted photos was unredacted, sadly, and it was Princess Hillary, Princess Clinton, just being passed around like a piñata. It's from the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
I can safely say that Cory and myself missed that party. Yes, we can safely say. Speaking of someone who is, just a dollar short and a day late, but somehow manages his way to get here, let's get the take of Mr. Neil Bishop, the RDM spiritual advisor. Neil, thank you for being here, and thank you for, yes, we do validate parking, if that's what you're going to, you're here at least. How are you doing? Good to see you.
You know what? Here's the thing, Dean, and it's good to see you guys. Here's the thing. Let's just work with me for a minute. I know there's no arrests from J6. I know there's no arrests from the Epstein files. I know there's no arrests from Russiagate. I know there's no arrests from anything that we voted Trump and this administration in office for, but the good news is we're at war with Iran and we're bombing the hell out of them for, we don't really know why exactly, except for maybe some foreign nation sort of twisted Trump's arm to get us into it. But that's the good news. At least we're going to war.
Are you talking about Thailand?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
That is the good news. Now, the timing of it all, too, the Epstein files, the Clinton deposition, the bad press on ICE, but it all comes down to the Epstein files. But the also other good news, I don't know if you're aware of this one as well, Mr. Neil, is Mr. Dan Crenshaw lost. We're looking at a major wave of losses coming. What is it, Cory? November, right? The midterms.
Yeah. By the way, it's
so we're looking at
871,000 and change.
Dan Crenshaw received $871,000 from who was it? The Zionist
APAC
Foundation.
That's
APAC.
APAC over his career over the last couple years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we know of, and that's across the board, Neil. We're talking treason. We're talking that the Zionists and the Americans, they're talking about removing the Muslim octagon that sits in, what is it, Bethlehem? That is the highest arc of religious, symbolisms. On top of killing the number 2 religious figure in all of Islam.
They're going to move Mecca?
Nothing's going to happen from that.
They say they're going to move Mecca?
Yeah.
The big square, the big block, the cube.
So they're talking about doing a false flag, saying that one of Iran's missiles crushed it in the interim, and that's going to get the religious war that Mr. Ladybug, Mr. Lindsey Graham, he was talking about. And it doesn't stop there. In fact, here's Netanyahu going further.
ביום השישי של מבצע שאגת הארי, אני פה בבסיס חיל האוויר בדרום הארץ, עם הטייסים המופלאים שלנו ושל ארצות הברית וצוותי הקרקע המסורים. שיתוף הפעולה הוא היסטורי בין צבא ארצות הברית לצה"ל, בין חיל האוויר וחיל האוויר האמריקני. אנחנו ממשיכים לעלום במטרות משטר הטרור באיראן וגם מול גורמי הטרור בלבנון, וההישגים הם גדולים, אבל המלאכה עוד מרובה. אני רוצה שוב להודות לידידי הנשיא טראמפ על שיתוף הפעולה בינינו, בין ישראל וארצות הברית. יחד נמשיך ויחד נשיג את המשימות שלנו בעזרת השם.
Wow, it's very windy where he is, it appears. Neil, it's very reminiscent of mission accomplished. Are we going to have a mission accomplished kind of as we round up things on Iran here? Is there going to be a mission accomplished? Because they're about to do boots on the ground, and Iran says, we're ready for you.
Yep. Yeah.
What's the mission accomplished here?
Well, there was a time and different parts of, history where when, a leader, whether it be a commander in chief, a king, one of the judges, you go back to Old Testament times, when war was declared, it was the leader who was leading the battle. And not just that, it was the leader and his sons, because they were prepared for battle and they believed in it enough to move forward with it themselves and to take up a sword and their shield and go out and fight the battle. So here's my challenge to President Trump or to whatever this Netanyahu guy is, all these people, Lindsey Graham, who does not have any children because he doesn't reproduce because he's a homosexual. But to any of these people that have kin, or any of these people that have a lineage, let them go first. Let them lead the way. It's so funny, isn't it? That, Trump's kids are sitting back drinking martinis, increasing their hundreds of millions and billions of, of dollars and all their wealth. And Netanyahu's kid is like sitting up like he's some little king's son sipping on, gin and juice, whatever this guy's doing. And all of our kids have to go off and fight the battles. And it's okay, because Trump said, you know what? With war, there's sacrifice. It's not a war, but he did say with war, there is sacrifice. And it's your children that are going to have to be sacrificed for this war. I'm really, really disheartened. I'm cynical. I'm done with this. But the good news, on a serious note, the good news is that people, I think like 80% of this country is also done with it. And it's to the point where people are getting ready to go drag folks out, these, Crenshaws and Lindsey Grahams or whatever, like drag them out of office and say, we're done with you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Part of me,
that's right. I agree.
Neil, I'm with you 100%, but part of me, we've stepped in so many traps, tells me they have a trap set that we're being herded into this. Either one of two things is happening. Either they are pushing forward their agenda a now or never to conquer and do it. They're racing against everything. This is their one chance to do it. Or it's by design and plan, and we are going to kick out the conservatives and bring in the Democrat Party again. Are we?
The question.
I mean, what the hell's the plan if that's it? So, I mean, I don't want to fall in a trap here. I mean, you got Nick Fuentes out this week telling everyone to vote Democrat, and freaking Alex.
Well,
Jones
that's a
had
good point.
Hemorrhage live on air about it.
I saw that actually. I saw that. It was very, very cringe to watch. But to Cory's point, Neil, and I'll go to you, and then we have a lot of people who are commenting all over the place, and we're going to continue. But to Cory's point, here is the plan: is that we're going to get bogged down as the big superpower from Israel. Israel has a new host to suck on, as we shared with everybody about a week ago. It's India. They're now making major trade deals with India. They're going to move probably a consulate there, give them a red heifer or two. But they have a new nuclear power to leech off of. And their strategy is to purposely bring us down. So now that everybody's pissed off at Israel and all the people in their government or whatever, well, what are we going to do about it? We don't have enough munitions. We don't have enough firepower to fight back at them.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Go on a flotilla, swim there, and beat them over the head with a bunch of golf clubs? You know what I mean? So this is all by design, Neil.
Well, I think there's a couple things. One is I don't think that it seems to me that Israel and the U.S. were not prepared for the backlash that's going to come from this. Iran may be more prepared than what they gave credit for. And obviously Netanyahu wanted us to come and fight this battle for him because he's afraid if he were to do it himself, he's going to get crushed. And from what we can see, at least from what we can see, I don't know what's true and what's not. Tel Aviv is getting hit pretty hard. And so they may not have calculated correctly how powerful Iran truly is. But the other thing is, and I want to throw this out there because it's not just conspiracy theorists saying this. Catherine Austin Fitts, who you guys probably know who she is, but she's a voice that needs to be listened to. She worked in the Bush administration. She understands a lot of things. And she's claiming that the reason for this is to install a central bank in Iran because they're one of the last few that's held off for long enough to resist the central bank system of our overlords that are trying to rule over us with CBDCs. And so the ultimate plan, it doesn't matter Democrat or Republican for midterms because both parties are completely involved and corrupt in trying to install their plans for a one world currency, CBDC, and all that kind of stuff, which I think that there's going to be enough resistance. I'm not extremely worried about that because I think states and communities are going to resist that. But I think that's their ultimate plan. And I think that bad Trump is involved in that and he got suckered into it hard. And I don't know how he's going to make his way out of this because his base is turned on him so hard. I mean, they're really turning to MTG and others who are leading voices for what we actually voted for MAGA. But it's been completely overtaken by the Ben Shapiros and the Mark Levins of the world. So he's in quite the mess right now. And he's trying to appease his donors because that's really who, partially at least got him into office. He feels like he has to appease them. And so I think they got a hold of bad Trump. And I think he got suckered into this whole thing. But the ultimate plan is to install a banking system to ultimately control the world. That's 100%. My opinion.
Yep. 100%, man. You're spot on.
That's true. Just to add to that, I've been trying to make sense of it too. Is he poisoned? Is the real Trump dead? And those are still up for grabs in some form or fashion. But when I saw Donald Trump literally dancing in Mar-a-Lago after they killed the Ayatollah, I don't think there was much, there was much twisting of the arm, Neil, in this case. I think what our own ground intelligence for SETI, our EU insider, told us 2 years ago, I think is turning out to be true, that Trump is Mossad. Trump is part of the greater Israel project. The Kushners definitely are. I think he was in the blueprints of this. Now it's being found out that all these negotiations they were having as of late with Iran were another lullaby. They were never planning on finding a peace agreement with Iran. They were planning to lullaby them. They even killed Ahmadinejad, the former president of Iran, who was going to possibly potentially get back into some kind of power level, because here's what we have now. Speaking of the vacuums, now we have the son of the Ayatollah who's positioning himself to take the reins, who is very anti-West and will seek to revenge the death of his father, very much way that George W. Bush, supposedly did that with Hussein in regards to, Daddy Bush. So that's where we are now, and they're losing it. So I predict we're going to see people stepping away from the administration. I think you're going to see Tulsi Gabbard have to make that decision, because this goes right in the face of everything she branded herself as. J.D. Vance is, I think, another one, and then ultimately Marco Rubio is going to be the nail in the coffin. But that's how I see things going. It's going to get really ugly in this country.
J.D. Vance is slated for the next presidency. I mean, him or
what about Jody Vance? What about Jody Vance?
I don't know about Jody. Rubio, Rubio. Yes. I underestimated Rubio. I thought, okay, you got Rubio here doing what Rubio does, and then I saw him speak over there at that. Was it the German summit? Which summit was it over there? He was the German Economic Summit, or a couple weeks back. And that guy's got cojones on him.
Yeah.
And he spoke with authority for his age. I mean, he really
for his age.
I mean, he's relatively speaking for a politician. He's a pretty young guy. He's not one of these older seasoned politicians. And he got up there and he ran with it. He stepped up to it. And I was like, wow. And that was kind of terrifying to see him saying those words that he did. Like, you're either with us or you're not, or you're against America. Basically, is what he told the world.
Well, and little Marco I think he accidentally told why we got into this war. Did you guys see that too? Just when was that? 2 days ago?
Go ahead.
Where he's speaking off the cuff and he's like, either Israel was going to do something or we were. And so we decided to step in and do something. And then Trump kind of had to run with that. And so now they're trying to do damage control with, everybody saying that Netanyahu strong-armed Trump into this. And now they're trying to do damage control with that. And they just interviewed Netanyahu, and he was saying, he kind of did that evil laugh and said, no, dude, Trump can't be convinced to do anything by anybody, just trying to do damage control there. But one thing I want to point out as we're on this, remember it during COVID, 2020, 2021, there was a line in the sand that was drawn between people that could see and people that were blind. And it really didn't matter what religious background you had. It didn't even matter in some cases what political background, that kind of thing. People either saw through the lies or they fell hook, line, and sinker. And I feel like we have now another line in the sand, starting with Charlie Kirk, really. And now with this Iran thing, there's a line in the sand, because look at what Conservative Inc. is doing. They're all completely revealing themselves as paid puppets. The Dan Bong Bingos and the Laura Looney, Larry Looney, whatever her name is. These people are just revealing themselves as the paid just shills that they are, and they've all changed their tune all of a sudden, and all justifying us sending soldiers over there, sending our young men and women over there. Now they're spokespersons for, we must be at war. It's ridiculous. And we're even seeing emails that are being prepared and talking points that are being prepared that are sent out to these influencers the same way they did on the left with the cold vid. They're doing on the right now with Charlie Kirk and with Iran. And you can see it. You see right through it. There's another line in the sand here, guys. And the group of us that really can see through this is getting a little smaller. And we're going to have to team up and encourage each other through this, because this is going to be a crazy year.
Didn't it break a couple months ago?
I agree.
Sorry, go ahead, host.
No, go ahead, please.
A couple months ago, after the Charlie Kirk thing, it came out that Israel was full on paying the influencers $7,000 checks every time they'd come out and say something pro-Israel, and anti.
To that, Cory, I don't know if you heard, Cory, just yesterday, those influencers who were getting paid $7,000 got stiffed by Rabbi Shmolo. Much. They got stiffed. I mean,
my God.
There's a cliche joke in there
just-
somewhere.
Oh, let me find it for you, Cory. Let me find it. Just when you thought rabbis, were a little short on tips at the local deli, well, guess again.
Tips in general.
You could send your hate mail to Neil. What's your PO box? Okay.
Did you guys see?
okay.
Did you see the video that's going around? It's making its rounds. Here's what's funny about this conservative Inc. thing. They're arguing. They're using the ghost of Charlie, which they've created, to argue against Charlie himself.
Yeah.
And there's all these videos going around of Charlie himself just before he was, whatever happened to him, before he was taken off the scene, we'll say, of him saying, one of them was great. They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about Taliban. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. They were wrong about Yemen. They were wrong about the Arabian Peninsula. They were wrong about the 9/11 hijackers. But I'm sure they're right about Iran. That's what Charlie said. It's crazy, the insanity of it. These people are psychopaths. They're literally like, they don't even know who or what they stand for. They don't even know who they are. We're quoting from Charlie himself about his stance on Iran, and these people are flipping around and they're saying, no, we have the ghost of Charlie. TPUSA owns the ghost of Charlie. And so whatever the ghost of Charlie says through TPUSA, which is now, oh no, I'm sure Charlie would have supported Trump. Even though Charlie directly went to Trump, and J.D. Vance admitted that Charlie Kirk was the reason why they didn't go to war with Iran last year. He came and met with the president specifically, but now Conservative Inc. and TPUSA is coming out. No, Charlie would be in support of it. It's pure insanity, and I don't understand how more people aren't seeing it. But again,
Neil, I want to ask you. I want to ask you more about that on the other side, and also on the other side too. We have to take this break, but Cory's going to be doing a special seance of decoding for us. I think you might find interesting because a lot of the signs and symbols are their form of communications, which 90% is nonverbal. That's right. So we're going to have a look at that. I want to get the latest updates on everything Erica Kirk. I'm very concerned, Neil. I'm very concerned, as you can tell. I know. I'm very concerned about that. And also, again, we're going to take a lot of people's questions because it's being described as screaming and panic in the White House right now. Literally.
I'm sure.
Susie Wiles is still there, but I don't know how. She's at the center of it.
Most powerful woman in the world.
Gas prices are about to go soaring, I believe, starting Monday next week.
Yep. Gas up now.
In California, that means we're talking $20, a gallon here. So we're going back to the horse and buggy really fast, everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's the rate things are going.
By the way, that's also that's also a tactic used whenever you go to war. You want to keep your people home, so you'll depress your own economy a little bit to keep people home from moving too much, right? Even your own people. And fuel does that. You take out comms and then transportation and then weapons in that order in any military operation. But with the comms and the transportation, it goes for your own people as well.
That's a great point. And thinking about how do they control everybody during the cold vid? Stay home.
Damn it. See, Cory undercutted us just like that. Boom. He's been holding back that card. And that's true because we had one of our members too, Cory, say that they're bringing all of the tourists home from Mexico, Jamaica, Grand Cayman Islands and so forth. So I think you have a lot of truth of what you just said there, Cory. You're going places. Anyways, stand by there, guys. We have a very, very formidable break coming up here. Okay. Anyways, you are watching Real Deal Media Live. I am Dean Ryan here with the guys here, Neil Bishop and Cory, not Lewandowski, but Daniel, who's going to give us a decoding you're not going to want to miss. You're not going to see much anywhere else, really, for that fact. Also, we're going to get an update on the Erica Kirk situation. But really, in addition to that, we're going to look and peer into the war. We have a 7-front war, just not a 7-nation army, but the war happening in Ecuador now. Yes, it's in all places. And where's China? What is China doing during this whole time? So hold your hats. You're watching Real Deal Media Live. This is our special college night. We'll be back after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Now close your eyes. Go ahead. Close them. Yeah, good. Now take a step up. Now hold on to the railing and keep your eyes closed. No peeking. Why not? Very good. Now step onto the rail.
It is easy to criticize anti-Semitism when it happens on the other side. It is more difficult to address it when it happens on your own. It was not enough for Tucker Carlson to a few days ago say every Jew should have to do a DNA test to prove that they were Jewish. It was not enough for him to say that a terrorist should be able to kill us if they are under 18 years old. But yesterday, Tucker Carlson attacked perhaps the best, the most good group of Jews that are out there, a group of people who see their job to evangelize not other Jews, but Jews themselves, Chabad, a group that no one ever has anything bad to say about because they care about everyone. I wear a kippah from UF Chabad today in honor of them. We have a cancer in this country. It is anti-Semitism, and Tucker Carlson represents it. He is many things, but one thing President Trump and I agree on is he is certainly not MAGA. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Speaking of kebabs, maybe he should put down the kebabs. What a pig that guy is. That's Mr. Randy Fine over there in Florida, soon turning into Little Tel Aviv. Anyways, welcome back to Real Deal Media Live, Boots for Hire. That's right, we are for hire. You have your choice. You have the disgruntled man on the left, the decapitated man in the middle, or the very well put together, more, voice of reason on the right. That'd be Neil. Neil, God, I can't. When was the last time, Neil, you had a fully shaven face? I haven't seen you like that in a long time. Look at that. Did you see that, Corey?
I did. Look
at this guy here. He looks like he looks like an altar boy. Look at him. Who is that guy? You don't remember taking that, Neil? I guess not.
That's messed up, man.
Hey, let me chime in on this Chabad thing real quick here before we move on past that. The show moves so fast.
Let's get Corey on the Chabad. He is definitely feeling. Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about Chabad.
Just briefly here, because I don't want that to go
ahead.
Uncontested. Chabad is a Hasidic Jewish movement found in the 18th century in Eastern Europe. Okay, it operates a global network of emissaries promoting Jewish education, identity, and Israel's divine role. Okay, 3 of Bibi's primary advisors, his religious leaders, if you will, are Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, okay, who revered as a mystic and potential Messiah by followers. This is the most radical mystic Kabbalah version of Judaism that there is. These are the ones that believe that have taken Judaism and morphed it into a political Zionist movement that is causing the hell today on earth. That's who Chabad is, by the way. The other one is Rabbi Yaduri, right? He was he practiced expert in practical Kabbalah, authored unpublished Kabbalistic works, distributed amulets to sway elections back in 1996 for Bibi here. The other one was General Chabad Ludovich Network. That's the whole network that supports him. This is a occulted system of Indo-European, pagan, and Zoroastrian rituals all shoved together that the Zionists hijacked and conflated the Judaism with Zionism and are pushing forward their ethno-nationalist system. That's what Chabad is. That guy you just saw, that religious leader with the yarmulke, is a black sinning effing liar, is what he is.
That's a congressman in Florida. That's Randy Fine.
Right.
Mr. Daniel.
Okay.
Yes. You better watch out, Mr. Randy Fine. He's on a warpath, and he might come after you. But yes, there's a lot of paths.
He's right over the target right now.
Hey, Dean.
Absolutely. Yes, Neil.
Dean, I'm a little concerned about the anti-Semitism. I just wanted to point that out, Cory. Come on,
Neil. You didn't even have to tell me. I felt the same way.
Okay,
in fact,
good,
I
good. I'm not
contacted
the
Randy
only
Fine
one.
myself.
When they conflate Judaism and Zionism, it is so, it just, you know, and he goes,
And he
"Read a
keeps
DNA
going.
test." Well, yeah.
Neil, and he keeps going, and he's doubling, tripling down, Neil.
Wind me up and push me, dude. I just go.
Neil, we got to get the net. I told you, we're working on. We're going to send you a nice place, Cory. But check this out here real quick here, because I promised it. And if you wanted to call in, we might have room for you. Here's Mr. On Rumble. This is Mr. Machine Philosophy, which I love that name. Give Randy Fine a bag of Snickers to help with future amputations.
Nice.
I'm telling you, this is the best audience in the world, which I think all three of us share the same. Here's another one here. We have, this is very, very intuitive here. Here is Mr. Nathan Bedford Forrest saying, it's apparent that the U.S. is a Goyim vassal state for Rothschild's cartel. They will use the U.S., then dispose of us. Next, use China and Russia for their new dance partners. India, actually, Nathan, India. But you're on the right path, because Israel's in a war with China. But to said in Clinton's deposition, I don't know if anyone heard what he said. That he said he was more friends with Ghislaine because they were introduced to each other by the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds have a lot to do with a lot of this, and it goes all the way back in time, about 100 years ago. But they're still around today. And even said, Cory, that Ellen DeGeneres, when she ran from the U.S., like a lot of stars are right now, she ran to the city of London because she, in her actual DNA and everything, is a Rothschild. And she, quite frankly, she looks like one. I wouldn't put it past her.
That's interesting.
Okay, so there's that one. Here's a question from Rebel Mema, asking, is Rabbi Shmuley in the same club? I don't know. Would anyone want to be in a club with anyone like Rabbi Shmuley? I'm not sure, but is he one of them?
Toy club?
Do you know, Cory?
Is he Shabbat, you mean?
Yeah, I think that's the question.
That's a great question. I did not know myself. Apparently, the answer is no. No, Shmuley. Yeah, he's not. The most prominent rabbi commonly referred to as Shmuley is not affiliated with Shabbat.
Okay, and finally, this is a great question. Maybe Neil can answer this. Susan says soon they'll be wanting the Noahide law to be enforced. What exactly, in brief, is the Noahide law? Because I think not just Californians, but Americans in general need to know, because that's who is running our federal government at this point. Does anyone know that?
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to, and Cory would probably know about this more, but that goes back to the Talmud. Right. And so here's the interesting thing, though. I'm coming at this from a Christian standpoint. When we're talking about Zionism and Judaism, I don't even think that Judaism is a biblical religion. And the reason I say that is that the Judaizers of the time of Jesus, when he were here, and the converts from the Hebrew lineage, Hebrew faith to Christianity, were strongly condemning what they called, and the Bible calls, Judaizers. And so it was so corrupt by the time that Judaism became so corrupt by the time that Jesus was here, that Jesus was condemning it, and Judaism is what put Jesus Christ on the cross. All right. So coming to this from a Christian standpoint, you can't tell me that Judaism is a good religion in of itself. And this goes into Judeo-Christian values and the mixing of the two, which don't mix. But even Judaism itself and the idea of being a Jew was being condemned at the time that Jesus was here. Jesus was of the line of Judah, and supposedly Judah is where we get the term Jew. but it became so corrupt, it's unrecognizable from even the Old Testament practice of what people now refer to as Judaism. It wasn't Judaism. It was something entirely different. I would just make that case.
Judaism is very complicated. There was the northern tribes and the southern tribes. Yahweh was one of the gods. They were polytheistic before they turned monotheistic. A lot of people don't know that, Jews included. But Yahweh was a storm god. He was a wartime storm god that they would pray to come in and vanquish and wipe out their enemies before they would come down and attack them. And I believe he was a southern god of the southern tribes. And eventually that won out most of Judaism. The foundation of Judaism is the Kabbalah, and the Kabbalah is predicated upon Zoroastrian mysticism as well as Indo-European pagan systems. And that's why when Christianity grew out of Judaism, you see a lot of these holdover stories mirrored in Christianity as well, because they took a lot of that from that as well. No offense to any Christians out there. I come at religion from a scholastic standpoint, not a religious one. But what do you make while we're on religion here of who was it, the generals in the army, or who was it that was telling the troops this last week?
Okay, well, that's a great segue, and let me also add this. We have Nathan Bedford also adding to the mix here. Every Iranian I personally have met has been very kind to me. Clearly, he's a sympathizer for the enemy, Neil. I don't know if you want to call General Norman Schwarzkopf and let him know, but look, I've said it many times.
He must hate Jews. That's all I can figure.
Well, yes, call Randy Fine immediately. But I've said many times, I had two best friends in high school. I didn't know they were Muslim till like the last semester of senior year. You know what I mean? And I accidentally fed one of them pork accidentally, and I never even told him. So that's how I found out he was Muslim. But here are Cory.
We have Persians.
Persians. Yeah. And by the way, beautiful people. And the people of Lebanon who are getting bombed right now, Lebanese are the most beautiful people ever.
And
I take it very personally that this is happening. But here's what, in short, what the no-hide laws are in layman's terms, because this is something we need to know since we're an occupied nation now. So, no-hide laws, and people are asking, why is there such a conspiracy theory behind them, if they're even real? Well, there are a set of instructions that many Jews believe non-Jews should follow. Some of these include acceptance of monotheism. Monotheism. Yeah. Yes. Not eating from live animals, not murdering each other, and establishing court. And they don't have much to do with Islamic law whatsoever. Clearly, these can't be the no-hide laws because they're not being followed, are they? They're a little outdated, I guess, for the modern Israel. But yeah, that's right. They separate their food. I mean, there's got to be more than that. But I guess if you ask the basic Jewish person today, they probably just recite what I just did. But obviously, there's more to the story, like the Talmud would tell you.
It's the Talmud. The Talmud is a book of arguments from rabbi to rabbi. It's not necessarily a holy book. It can be. But like everything in Judaism, like Judaism is a religion. Oh, wait, it's an ethnicity. The Talmud's a holy book. Oh, wait, it's a book of arguments to better understand the Bible. Things are anything they want at any time, depending on the argument. That's the brilliance of Judaism. It can be whatever you want, depending on the argument.
Right.
That's what it is.
And well, Judeo-Christian, this is a holy war. I mean, this is exactly what Pete Hegseth is saying. It's a holy war. He's just gleefully grinning of the death and destruction. You have Lindsey Graham, who's gleefully drunk. He said it's a holy war. They're going to kill him. I mean, this is unbelievable. Anyways, something else that's a holy war, as we move on here. And oh, by the way, let me just run through this. Okay, so there's 7 no-hide laws. I gave you the layman's. Yes, it's 7: establish courts of law and ensure justice in the world. 6 is harness and channel the human libido. Wait a minute. Is that why Shmuley was selling those sex toys? Okay, that's pretty wild.
It's a family business.
I did. Wow, it's a family affair. Number 5 is do not steal. Number 4 is do not eat limb of still living animal. Well, that's common sense. Okay, so no cannibalism. And no McDonald's either. I've yet to see Jewish people at McDonald's. I think I'm understanding why now. Number 3 is do not murder. Clearly, that's a suggestion, not a law. And number 2 is do not curse your creator. And number 1, no hide law of old time is do not profane God's oneness in any way. Okay, there you go. So there's your top 7.
Monotheism is a very, very powerful concept. It's a very powerful concept. It came around with the Jews, actually, because they grew out of Zoroastrianism. And Zoroastrianism was the first religion to combine polytheism, the 3, with the 1 mono. And then they went around and said, yeah, you have gods, but our God's the God of all the gods. And everyone's like, oh my God, we should have thought of that. And then monotheism became the thing, and then nationalism followed that.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so we're going to spur on here in a moment. Then we're going to get to Cory's decoding here. Oh, yeah. But let me tell you about this here, because a lot of people have been asking me, Neil, about what are the other fronts of war happening right now as we speak. Well, that's a good question, and I'm here to answer that. And it's beginning with Ecuador. Well, here's what I'm talking about as Israel seems to lead us into the battlegrounds. Well, there's another battleground that was led into by a precursor of what took place over there in Acapulco and Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, you name it. But let me tell you now, in Ecuador, where many Americans live, many expats, in this case now, a U.S. military operation is now underway. You might have heard just very little to nothing at all about it. Well, now, it's so bad, critics are now even questioning the increasing scope and the deadly consequences of a U.S. anti-narcotics operation, more like a crusade at this point. Well, now the United States indeed has now announced it's collaborating with the Ecuador government to combat, quote, terrorists. We're not sure what that is. If it's drug dealers, that could be terrorists, because after all, the CIA doesn't like competition, let's be honest. Now, just this Wednesday, the U.S. Southern Command, the military unit over there overseeing such operations in Central and South America, well, they posted that joint effort has already taken place and begun over there in Ecuador. Yes, the home of the Chichilians and the guinea pigs. Well, now, as of March 3rd, the Ecuadorian and U.S. military forces launched operations against designated terrorist organizations over there in Ecuador. The operations are a powerful example, they're saying, of a commitment of partners in Latin America and the Caribbean to combat the scourge and the scourge of narco-terrorism. Basically, if you have enough oil, you might have some narco-terrorism that the U.S. might have to just come and rotor-rooter out of you. Now, the announcement appears to be part of the U.S. broader push by Trump and against the criminal networks and drug cartels over there in Latin America. But is it falling upon deaf ears? Is it too little too late? Is it too much in a time of, well, World War III, Holy War, as they're now calling it? That's a great question. Neil, I'm going to go to you before we go to Cory's wonderful example of what not to do. Well, we just lost Neil, who's going to call back. He was pretty disgusted with what I had to say. But someone who's calling in the meanwhile, one of our viewers, Mr. Buck over there from the East Coast, he was a former Army Ranger who has a few disputes he wants to share with us. Please do so, Buck, because I can't see everything all the time. Tell us.
I don't know where to start, Dean. There's so much misinformation out there that pretty much 95% of what we see on our feeds and everything is being controlled and manipulated to where we don't know what's really going on at all. And I'm telling you, from what I see you spending time on, I see it whenever you're talking with Fetzner and all this I mean, to start with, first of all, the Israelis that we're blaming everything on aren't true Israelis. Like you said that several times about Bibi Netanyahu not being a real Jew.
Polish.
The Rothschilds aren't real Jews. The Rockefellers aren't real Jews. I mean, technically, we're all Jews because we all come from Abraham and Sarah, and only 8 Jews apparently survived the flood. With Noah's flood, there was only 8 survivors. So, we're all Jews, and there's 13 tribes, and there's a missing tribe. So these are the fake Jews, the Khazarian mafia, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers that have controlled the world. It dominated the world for all these years, and that's what we're taking out. That's what, and these cells in Iran.
Okay.
There's black.
Well, hold on, Buck. This is really good stuff. Let me set it up so you could spike it. And by the way, I didn't see your what you were commenting on. No, I know what you were commenting on last night. I didn't see till after the fact, so I do apologize. You know how it is over here. So what Buck is saying, and we'll ask the guys, feel free to join in accordingly, is that what we're seeing is it's almost a proxy war, not with Iran, but it's a proxy war. We're in a war with Israel. Is that the case? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, Israel's already conquered because we arrested Bibi, and he's, at Gitmo. He's already been tried and everything, I believe, but I'm not 100% certain on that. But back when Trump gave the symbol in front of with Bibi, we talked about this before. That was Bibi was being arrested for. He was involved in 9/11. He was a young captain in the Mossad. 6 months before 9/11 occurred, he wrote a book that where he said that this was going to happen, that 9/11 was going to happen, and then he had a press conference promoting his book.
Right.
And then he had 300 art students. In fact, Candace Owens came out today and said that Bibi was behind 9/11. And she,
the book is called, it escapes me, but it was the precursor to the Project for the New American Century book. So yes, it came out in 1996. So now, you're right on.
On top of that, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was going to say we have to go to another segment. I want to get you on for a longer discussion, but if you could maybe finish your point here, because I think you're on fire and really spark some fire in my minds here. But go ahead and conclude what you were saying.
Well, the biggest issue is Iran. The reason we have to go again, the whole Iranian deal that Obama put through was because he was controlled by these splinter cells there's rogue cells of Five Eyes, which is basically controlled or was controlled by Mossad. I'm not, now there's splinter cells everywhere because one of the reasons we went ahead and went with COVID was to identify and find all these cells of all these CIA agents and FBI. You remember John Brennan became Muslim and set up in Qatar, and he was running these CIA cells under the Mossad.
Interesting.
And Mossad had black site. In fact, that school that was bombed with the girls, that was where they had their bunker, the black site for the Mossad that had a bunker underneath that school.
No shit, really?
That's why we hit it. But we want to blame it. Of course, we took over Iranian TV, and the statements from Iran are now our propaganda. So that's why Iran claimed that they hit the school like a day later. So
Buck, you're blowing my mind. You're blowing my mind.
Quit falling for this stuff, man. It's hard to watch.
Well, Buck, let's talk after the show. Let's get you back on. You and I will have a longer convo. This is fascinating. But thank you for calling in. It's so good to see
Appreciate
you. Okay, wonderful to hear from you. Well, that is
Buck's got me all backed up.
This is what, he is. He's had some bangers over the course of time, and I'll tell you what, it's hard to tell who's Persian, who's Arab, and who's just a Mossad agent, as we expressed in the past. This is what I'm talking about. You'd be hard pressed to find much of a difference. The captured ISIS Libya commander Abu Hafs turns out to be Benjamin Afiram, an Israeli national operating in one of Mossad's special units. So there's some credence to what Buck is saying there.
You know what, Dean? Real quick, Dean, on that.
Go weigh in on that. Go ahead.
Real quick, I'll weigh in because I appreciate Buck bringing some of this up. It's interesting that on an international level right now, there's discussion about Netanyahu not being an actual Jew. I mean, Tucker just brought that up with Huckleberry, and I mean, for the first time, people are going, "Oh, yeah, what actually is a Jew?" And Huckleberry couldn't define it. He was being very vague in trying to define it. And then Tucker called him out on Netanyahu being of Eastern European descent. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay. And that leads into something else too, though. That's that we cannot even trust our own eyes right now. Now, it doesn't mean you don't believe anything. I'm not a black pillar. I don't think it's all hopeless and all that. But right now, when we see Mossad, or when we see Muslim like attacks in the US, how do we know that's not Mossad? Because this operation goes so deep. Exactly. I mean, and they're going to use these false flags to try to reignite the hatred, the 9/11 hatred. I fell for it. I was ready to go kill all the Muslims. I was in my mid-20s and I'm like, yeah, let's all go enlist and do it. Thankfully, you know, that's why they recruit people when they're 18, because they don't know any better and they're fresh out of the brainwashing education system. And so they'd go do that. But we don't know. And so we need to encourage people, don't believe the news. Trump, one of the good things he did starting in 2016 was tell us about fake news. It's still fake. So when the news reports that a guy wearing a hoodie that said, you know, something about Allah, it doesn't mean that was a Muslim guy. That could be a Mossad agent doing that. We are in a we're in between, you know, and the close of one age and the beginning of a new. And so there's this duality at play here, and we've got to have our eyes wide open and stop trusting what they tell us on the television and on social media and on the conservative Inc. side now too.
Exactly. Here's an ex-Mossad agent, what he's going to look like the next terrorist.
There you go.
He's out of a job.
Dictionary definition right there.
So, Neil, you're spot on. What Neil described is roughly what we all went through, called puberty, and that's what we're going through now. And I hated that time in my life.
Oh,
you know, my voice was cracking. You know, I had the milk mustache. You know what I mean? It was so embarrassing, Cory. I still have yet to get past that. But speaking of that, we want to go to another form of communication that is called decoding. And decoding is, in layman's, my understanding, which I believe was discovered, you know, for the populace back in the 70s when people started, you know, playing, or the 60s rather, backmasking. You know, ever backmasked and played in reverse the Led Zeppelin albums? There's a lot of decoding to be had there, just for instance. But Cory, I'm going to let you take it away for this next segment as we go into the wonderful world of Cory Daniel's Decoding. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, I mean, what I wanted to talk about tonight, you know, was an offer. It would take an hour to go through all of it. We can't do that.
We don't.
We're not going to do that tonight. Yeah, but because Jim Carrey was in the news here. Can I share my screen here?
Oh yes.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Is it shared?
Let me get the right one here.
Okay. Arnie says I need to visit my bong. My brains are scrambled. Well, that makes two of us. Okay. You should have that out. Go ahead.
Oh. Let me actually.
Oh, we lost. Well, as Cory's doing that, you know, in case you don't know, Jim Carrey, there was an award ceremony. He looks a little different. Initially, I thought it was plastic surgery, Botox gone awry. People said clones. It's been, thus far, it's been discovered that there was an actor playing Jim Carrey with a prosthetic. and Jim Carrey was in on the fix. Neil, I'm sure you're familiar with that story. So
The Mask. Yeah, just look at the movies he's played in. I mean, they're just screwing with us. They're having a great old time.
So pull me up here, man.
Yes, they are. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if we have that.
I'll just show everyone. I'll give everyone a brief preview of what we de-occulted a couple years back, and they can go check it out on their own if they like.
There we go. Are you there? Okay. Due to everything was fine until Buck came on screen. I don't know what he did.
Buck. Come on, Buck.
That's something he did. You have to share it on your own.
Yeah. I'm sharing here. Can you click the little thing at the bottom there where my screen's at?
Yes, I can. Okay, I can. Yes, I can. Or we take it back. We found it. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
There it is.
So it was
Go ahead.
de-occulting the 2020 Saturday Night Live cold opening. It was about a 10-minute and some odd second cold opening. It was brilliantly written. It was great. But when you go through the dates and who did what on what dates, I can't get it'd take way too long to get into all of it right now, but it's significant. Here's the whole thing. If you didn't see it, it's where Alec Baldwin played Trump and Jim Carrey played Biden, right? Alec Baldwin ends up shooting, and I get into this later as well. He ends up shooting Helene Hutchinson. Remember that on the Rust set up there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, a lot of people don't know this, and we're going to jump ahead here real quick. But Helene Hutchinson, for those of you who don't know who she is, she was born on a Soviet military nuclear submarine base outside of the Ukraine. Her father was a nuclear sub captain. She went into propaganda at the age of 18. She worked for MI6. This is all out there. This is actually someone else's research.
Wow.
That's her father right there. Naval career, submarine captain after the fall of the Soviet Union. Helene Hutchinson worked for this guy here, this cat here, Will Stewart. He did Red Top magazines. All those magazines like Russian soldiers eat babies, sex slaves that they're, all that. All the deep, dark. Oh, here. Will Stewart worked directly for MI6, anti-Russian propagandist for the British, whose job was to turn out hundreds of salacious stories a week about sex slaves affairs, women cannibalized by men, soldiers eating babies, etc. That was Helena Hutchinson's first job. Then she got promoted, and she went in with she was going to do a video on a documentary on human sex trafficking. We don't know if that was tied to the propaganda or not. Matthew Hutchins, her husband, who she met, this guy was working for Alan L. Grouper, bankruptcy judge. He went on to work with Kirkland and Ellis, the big one. That's the CIA law firm. Okay, Latham and Watkins. That's the other one. These two law firms, or these three, Skadden Arps, Kirkland and Ellis, and Latham and Watkins. These are CIA law firms. They are merger and acquisitions. Before we go in and tear a country down and attack them, we go in and tear them down economically. That's what this guy did. He's in the CIA. He met Helena. Helena comes over. Anyway, all this going on. Alec Baldwin ends up killing her on accident? No. All right. That's just it's my firm opinion.
Was he framed? Was Alex Baldwin, was he framed, do you think? Or did he know what he was doing?
I think he's U.S. intelligence. I think Alec Baldwin's fucking CIA.
He acts like it. He really does.
100%.
He's estranged from his.
I will tell you something off air that I'm in possession of that we can't go public with about Jim Carrey. And
I have something to share with you about Jim Carrey too. I'll tell you off air.
So, so anyway, you go on here. Biden. When you go through every point they made, when you go through the cold opening of the Saturday Night Live cold opening here from this date, every point they make for when he comes out here, like this is where he comes out when he first comes out of the thing.
Chris.
1 second here.
Wait, Cory, we're going to get struck with a copyright.
Oh, okay,
on these things.
So he comes out and he
sadly.
does the finger gun thing like 8 times Well, there were 8
Yes.
shots fired during Trump's assassination attempt. That was foreshadowed right there as well. It goes, every single part of the skit for 10 minutes occurred in Biden's administration during the next 4 years, in the order that they occurred in the Saturday Night Live cold opening. Every
Okay,
single
so
one.
this makes sense to me now that SNL, Saturday Night Live, has not been good for the longest time. How does it remain on air? Well, it makes sense that it's a mouthpiece for, intelligence and the
100%.
Democrat Party. I mean, because there's no show could last that long being that terrible. You know what I'm saying? So
forever, yeah.
They've been around. I mean, it was good. It had its moments, such like that. Or here's another one right here. Yes, backstage. If you are a night owl, if you're a member, join us backstage, and you might be able to hear something that you can't hear elsewhere. Go to realdealmedia.tv for more. Here is Mr. Davinator saying, Madi, myself, wants to see the decode of the weapon page. He was skipping over. Oh, for Modi. Yes. Yeah, I don't know too much about that one, but thank you. Here is, okay, so as we're wrapping up here, and I'd love to have Buck back now that he's back in the amongst the living. He usually goes disappearing and hibernates for roughly 6 months to a year. It's good to see him again. But what's the latest on Erica Kirk and TPUSA, Neil? Because I know that the series by Candace came out. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. Where do we find ourselves? Because I know a lot of TPUSA supporters. I know personally. Boy, they got really quiet the past couple of weeks here.
It is so over. And it goes back to what Cory's saying. These people, the connections that Erica Kirk has to the CIA, which is the all-seeing eye, by the way. They always kind of tell us in their words and their acronyms what exactly they are. Like CIA is literally like the eye of Satan. I mean, it's crazy when you go to some of the symbolism in there and things like that. But Erica Kirk, and what Candace is doing now is just sort of going through her factual history of where she came from, her charity work in Romania, the connections that her mom has to these intelligence agencies. It wouldn't surprise me if we find out that these people are all connected to Mossad. I mean, honestly, it is so insanely crazy what's being uncovered here. And something, the odd thing to me about it is that Candace is being allowed to have a platform. Like, they haven't deplatformed her yet. And so it almost makes me wonder if there is some sort of counter psyop going on here to let this be exposed. And I don't know what that would be or how that would work, but it's fascinating to me that they're allowing her to continue. And I keep wondering every day, I'm like, I wonder if Candace is going to be allowed to continue today. And sure enough, she's there.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, this is also in the wake, before we go to Cory, of Mr. Bombingo having a complete conniption fit roughly 5 days ago, and calling her a demon. And then the whole cast and choir, everyone's saying demon. Even Alex called her a demon.
Oh, yeah.
He's
it was
on
all
the
planned.
take.
And she's going to burn in hell for what she's doing. And all these people burn in hell.
The only discrepancy I could find is the husband. It's kind of a weird story, I mean, any guy, he asked her to marry her, and then now they have 4 kids. I didn't even know she had 1 kid. So that aside, Cory, why do you think you want to add to what Neil was saying there?
Well, I can tell you that Erica Kirk lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, and in an $8 million, $6 or $8 million home. She has Israeli guards who guard her 24/7. I can tell you that TPUSA runs Maricopa County Republican Party. They're the gatekeepers as to who gets in and runs in Maricopa County. And I know this because of reasons I can't say live on air, but I'm telling you this right now. And many Republicans in the GOP in Phoenix, Maricopa County are terrified of their power down there. And there is a real power struggle, and TPUSA has been making inroads in Maricopa County for years now. They run Phoenix. Also, if you did not know, a lot of intelligence operatives and agents and assets have been moving to Chandler, Arizona over the past probably 5 years. This started just prior to J6. And they're all moving down to Chandler and Gilbert area. It is full of spooks down there. But
speaking of Arizona spooks, I think you're onto something, Cory. A new detailed article came out on the AP today. Speaking of Arizona, a new polygamous sect sway has dwindled into towns on Arizona-Utah line on their border. Residents enjoy new freedoms. You know anything about this? What would that be?
Well, there's okay.
Yeah.
So there's Colorado City.
Yeah, that's
there,
it.
Which is in Mojave County, and I used to live in Mojave County. And it's for those you know, it's Kingman. Kingman, Arizona is the big city up there in Mojave County.
Yeah.
Well, the Grand Canyon cuts like Mojave County by like a quarter, and that top quarter is you have to go if you want to get to that part of the county, you got to go through Utah and Nevada Nevada, Utah, and then drop back down into Mojave County, Arizona. So they're isolated, and it was a Mormon fundamentalist church. What was his name? Warren Jeffs ran that for years. He's now
so this is the sect that we're talking about then.
Yeah, he's in prison in Texas right now. Actually, they moved him, but he's still the Messiah according to the fundamentalist Mormons.
Interesting. So that's sister wives. They dress in the whole garb, you name it, and so that's pretty interesting about Erica Kirk. I think where we find ourselves in that investigation, which is now it's taken a back seat to what's happening in Iran, Neil, is that the walls are closing in on Erica. They're circling in on her little by little. I don't think she has much wiggle room left. But then again, who's going to prosecute her?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
How many arrests have we had so far?
None.
None. Let me get back to you on that.
I think if she gets arrested, Candace is going to personally go over there and put her in handcuffs, wrestle her down, put her in handcuffs, and I'm here to watch.
Well, to Neil's point, today one of the MPs in UK just got arrested because their husband was linked to a Chinese spy. Now, think about just that formula alone. If it was applied here in the U.S. to other kinds of spies outside of Fang Fang and Long Duck Dong and all these people of China, if it was like Israel, I mean, we wouldn't have a government, would we?
Yeah.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Anyway, so anyway, we're gonna. Cory, aren't you glad you missed your?
I forgot about Fang Fang.
You're right.
I forgot about Fang Fang.
Yeah. How could you forget about Fang Fang?
Where are the really hot Russian spies that we keep hearing about? Like where are they?
Because of the sanctions, we can't promote them anymore.
It's too bad.
It's terrible. I mean, Russian spies. That's the way to go. I mean, they gave Bill Gates, herpes. Speaking of which, there's our. I don't know how he got there. I was trying to show everybody the stupid picture of this stupid Mormon sect. So
by the way, Mitt Romney was involved. You know that there's a Mormon group south of the border in Mexico, right?
Yeah, well aware of that one. Yeah, and linked to Obama.
And linked to Obama.
It's the same ones, right?
To Nixium, which we all
that's right.
We all heard about Nixium. That was tied into the Epstein shit as well. And Mitt Romney was tied directly into all that.
We haven't heard from Mitt Romney in quite some time. He might be in one of those dresses there. Okay, so that's it. And finally, one last comment, and we're out of here. Again, Hammer Time is really honing in on this. It probably makes good dim sum. It's an acquired taste. Okay, it's an acquired taste. Okay, this is a good question. Did Fang Fang move to the UK? I don't know. I don't know if but yeah, a lot more people are getting arrested in Europe than there are in the United States. So that's got to be a cover up. So we're going to end it there. You can catch Cory Daniel's The Phoenix Enigma at no particular time, but check your local listings on TV Guide over there. And you can catch his unruly, savory excursions into the wild each and every time he does it.
It's on my website for free. Yeah. There's no paywalls.
And what about, your most recent interview with Mr. His name escapes me. It's a big interview.
Sean
Atwood. Sean Edward. You got to check that out. You definitely check that out. Also, well, Neil will come back. He keeps getting kicked off. I don't know where he's doing this from, so I'll say goodbye for him. Ranger Buck's backstage. We'll greet him in a moment. Anyways, Cory, thank you for being here. Thank all of you for being here on this incredible. This is a time of war. We're trying to make the best of it in the long stretch of news throughout the week. So thank you for being here for Real Deal Media Live. I'll see everybody at some point this weekend. If you are a Real Deal Media member and want to hang out and join us backstage, feel free to do that at your appropriate locations. Till then, for Cory Daniel, for Neil Bishop, and even Buck, Ranger Buck, I'm Dean Ryan saying thank you for sharing a bit of this incredible live night, live moments. Till next time, always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Darkness and the light is running. From the water that's flowing through my veins, pure Everything's gonna be alright.